welcome back to my channel, Diamonds and Washi. My name is Katie, and today I'm here with my month in review for July 2024. In these month in review videos, I like to take you through the different diamond paintings I've worked on during the month, including doing some mini reviews of kits that I have completed, as well as look ahead to the upcoming month and talk through any fun plans that I might have in mind. So I do have a playlist that'll be linked below that will take you through the various month in review videos I've done over the past few years. So you're welcome to take a look. It's a nice way to get a snapshot glance at the diamond paintings I've worked on over the past few years. So that being said, as far as July goes, it was a productive month. It was the second month of Summer with the Masters, a diamond painting event that I hosted with my friend Anthony from Single and Placing. And I completed in total, I'm calling it 6 different diamond painting finishes. And a couple of those are kind of like asterisks, and I'll explain when we get into those. But yes, 6 diamond painting finishes, and I have 2 whips in total going into the month of August, including a whip that has been on hold for nearly 6 months, and I'm excited to have it back to share with you. It is back, you guys, my cross-stitch conversion project. We're going to take a look at that here in a little bit. And then as far as YouTube goes, in July I had 23 videos go up on my regular channel, and then I had weekly vlogs going up on my Patreon and a monthly live stream. So just, another fantastic month here on YouTube and in diamond painting land. So yeah, it was a good one, you guys. Like I said, I participated in and hosted Summer with the Masters and have a couple of kits to share with you that went with that event. And I also did complete my monthly dragon kit in honor of the Year of the Dragon. So we'll take a look at those and talk more about those. But my first finish is right here, and I have my logbook here where I like to track my completed diamond paintings. This is one that I just started. I think I shared it with you for the first time in last month's month in review. But in my logbook, I just like to track different things about the kit, such as the stats and things that I liked about the kit. Let me find, here's like this kit. I like to have a picture of the original artwork if I can, and yeah, write down the stats, start and end date. In this logbook, I started tracking and ranking kind of the confetti level of a kit and how much I enjoyed working on the kit, and then have my other notes too. So this is for what was my first finish of July, and it's called the Crystal Ball. It's by the artist John William Waterhouse and is from Jaded Gem Shop. And this is 50 by 50 centimeters and has 51 colors and has square drills. So I started this one on July 2nd and finished it on July 11th. It's my 21st finish of the year, and I rated this one in terms of confetti a 9 out of 10, and my enjoyment was a 6 out of 10. So confetti level was really high. This is, like I said, from Jaded Gem Shop and is in their hybrid or classic charting style or rendering style, which means that it's mostly computer charted, which means there's usually a lot of confetti. It tends to result in a softer kind of finished look, and to be frank with you, this rendering style I think is beautifully suited to this genre of artwork, the old masters. I think that it is truly what Jaded Gem Shop does best with this rendering style, and this is really no exception. I ended up getting this particular kit, this artwork, as a diamond painting. It's a crop of the original artwork. The original artwork is taller. It has like more of her dress, and there's kind of like a background behind it as well. But knowing that I was getting into a really confetti heavy kit, I thought, is there a way that I can work on something that's a little bit smaller? That's a phase I've really been in. It feels like most of 2024, where I just am really gravitating towards these smaller or in some way more accessible, less overwhelming kits. And so I wanted to be intentional about what I was doing with my John William Waterhouse kit this year, and getting a crop enabled me to get a nice level of detail at a smaller size point. 50 by 50 centimeters was just such a nice size point to work at. I loved it. Speaking of, my annual John William Waterhouse kit, for 4 years now, I think this is my 4th one, I have worked on one of John William Waterhouse's artworks for Summer with the Masters. And it's just a tradition I've really enjoyed, sort of kind of accidentally fell into. And I almost let it go this year. And then at the last minute, was like, no, I really don't want to let this go if I can help it. Let me just see if I can get a smaller kit, relatively speaking. And this really did the trick. And just sort of overall, my thoughts are that I'm really happy with how it turned out. The reason I rated the enjoyment a 6 out of 10 was just because of the amount of confetti, and there were a few colors that were pretty trash prone. I just sent some pictures over to Jada Gem Shop just so she's aware, because it's happened a couple of times where there have been just a couple of colors in particular where I felt like I was having to pick out a lot of trash. Now, to the shop's credit, I had so much extra that even though I was being really picky and I felt like I was pulling out a lot of trash drills, I did have plenty left over to complete the kit. I was not in danger of running out of any colors, so I really do appreciate that and have to give them credit for that. I do think the render on this turned out really well. Some of my favorite spots include like the skull and the book down here. There's even kind of like a sword in the background that kind of comes through. I actually really like the detailing that's at her wrist and kind of at her neckline in the dress. I think that detail is actually really pretty. The crystal ball I think is pretty at this size point, and her face too. I just think it was really nicely done. Now, if you take a look here in the background, these trees that are shown through the archway, I will tell you what, this right here, this is probably the main reason that this got ranked a 6 out of 10 and not higher in terms of how much I enjoyed this kit. This area was pure confetti, and it was like there would be like only a handful of colors in those sections, relatively small handful, so it'd be like 20 colors instead of 30, but it was so much single placing and just this like pure confetti. It took me so long to get through this, and I don't enjoy working on greenery. I don't enjoy working on landscape, and like specifically like greenery like trees. It's not enjoyable for me at all. And I like didn't realize necessarily when I got into this artwork, that didn't stand out to me like, oh hey, you're gonna have to work on a bunch of greenery in this kit. But that just made me really glad that I worked at it at this size point. It wasn't too much that I had to power through, but there is like also a tiny bit of gapping you can see in some of the light color drills in particular. I kind of want to go through and try this mica powder method that some people have done, and Jada Gem Shop I know she's done a video tutorial on it, but it's not like deal breaker kind of gapping for me. It just I just don't want the drills to pop, so that's what really I'm looking for. As far as my other thoughts, I do think that Jada Gem Shop, just the quality overall was good. Like I love the canvas and the glue and the plastic cover that came with it. The symbols, all that was just, it was perfectly fine and had no issues. It was really good to work with in that sense. And like I said, I do think that this rendering style does suit the old master genre of artwork really well. So yeah, this is my first finish of the month and was my old masters, one of my old masters kits for the month, and was my annual John William Waterhouse piece, and I really enjoyed it. So let me move this off to the side and I will grab my second finish for the month. Next up, I have the absolutely adorable Magic Arcades by Miss Holly from Diamond Art Club. Now I did do a dedicated post-review video on this kit where I talked in depth about it quite a lot, so that'll be linked below. I'm just going to kind of give you more of a snapshot look at it in this video. But this was actually a whip that I had coming into the month of July from June, and was just the kit that I ended up reaching for when I needed a dose of pure joy. And the color palette in this one is very, very much my style. Miss Holly's artwork just is so happy and joyful. It was just delightful to work on, you guys. I love it so much. I can't get over it. I'm going to try not to be really obnoxious on how much I just gush over how much I love this kit, but stats wise, this one is 55.8 by 78.7 centimeters. It had 66 colors, round drills, and did have these really amazing special shape drills that are kind of these like crystal cubes that take up the space of 4 drills, and they make up the lights in the back of kind of the claw machine that's going on here. There's some other crystals which Diamond Art Club calls iridescent diamonds, like in some of these stars. It's in her earrings. It's down here in some of the actual buttons and whatnot and accents, and there's even some on her purse, which is cute. And I started this one on June 25th and finished it on July 16th. So I had put this one on pause to work on that the crystal ball kit that I just showed you, and then I came back to this right after it was really refreshing to come back to, honestly, just with the round drills. There's tons of color blocking. I rated this one confetti-wise a 3 out of 10, and my enjoyment was a 10 out of 10, which is not a super common occurrence, but this was one that I just loved every bit of working on it. The confetti areas are mostly in the animals down here and a bit in her hair, but otherwise there's a lot of color blocking. This went very, very fast. Things that I also liked about it, the materials, it's kind of what I call the usual suspects when it comes to Diamond Art Club, the canvas, the glue, the symbols, the drills. No complaints there. I did run into, a lot of comments on that post review video that I did said that you were running into this as well. A tiny bit of like spacing issues if you were using a really large multi-placer. So for example, I use a 12 to 15 placer, you know, somewhere in that range. And I would find that the first 7 or 8 drills would line up really perfectly, and it would be tough. Like the rest after that would want to be like a little squished together. So I found some kind of workarounds to try to make it work, but it was just kind of an interesting conundrum that I found to come up specifically when I was working in the areas with lots of large color blocking bits, like in here and kind of this background. So it's still, I think it turned out pretty well. I went back and straightened where I needed to, but you know, that is what it is. These drills did have a lot of static in them. That just seems to be an issue I'm running into with a lot of kits right now, though. I always mention it because static is a pain. I don't love it. I know you guys don't either. So I mention it, but I'm never going to not buy from a company just because there is static, because so much of that is dependent on your climate. And, you know, sometimes it's affected by the materials used, but really I think it's more heavily climate dependent. And I've found ways to work around it that, you know, for me, it's not going to stop me from getting and working on a kit. But the color palette on this was really just one of the best things about it. The adorable imagery. It was one of those kits that as I opened up each section, there was something really fun that was coming together, like different, you know, animals or different aspects of the kit. So yeah, it was absolutely wonderful. Love this one to bits. Definitely, you guys, if it looks like something you would even remotely enjoy, you know, I'm not going to tell you that you have to go buy something or how to spend your money, but yeah, I just don't think you would regret this one. If the artwork speaks to you, go grab it. So yeah, this was Magic Arcades by Miss Holly from Diamond Art Club. Was my second finish for the month, and I'm gonna move this over to the side and grab my third finish. Now, I know how I mentioned that I've just been on a kick with small kits this summer in particular. I have another mini kit to share with you. This is called A Person in a Small Boat on a River with Mount Fuji in the background. It's from the year 1830 and is by Hokusai, the artist, and is from Diamond Artisan Shop. So this, as you can see, is very itty bitty. It's 20 by 20 centimeters, and it has just 9 colors. It has square drills, and there's a couple of special drills in here. There's like a light blue glitter drill in here that I think is actually really a nice addition, and this really, really a simple piece. Now, to be honest with you, this kit would not normally be the style of artwork that I reach for, but I have just been so drawn to these mini kits, and I wanted to kind of make sure I was sharing with you guys about different things that are out there, including kits like this one. And it was a one-day project. I kitted up in the morning. I had it completed before I went to bed, and it was obviously lots of color blocking. Confetti-wise, I rated it just a 1 out of 10. I almost went with 2 out of 10 because there is confetti in these blue areas a bit, but just with this amount of color blocking, I honestly thought that you guys would kind of give me a hard time if I rated it anything higher than like a 1 out of 10. So I was very, very picky with the drills in the background, but you can absolutely still see some gapping. This is another one that I'm kind of like, I really want to try out this mica method. By the way, when I reference the mica method, what this is taking either mica powder or like eyeshadow and lightly brushing it in between the drills, and that's going to help cover up the grid lines that are peeking through there and make it look like a little more cohesive. I will tell you though that large light color backgrounds like this one are incredibly difficult to place and make it look really even and not have any visible, you know, gapping or, you know, where you can see where kind of the multi-placing shifts are. It's incredibly difficult. So if you're having trouble with it, don't be hard on yourself. And if you're like an expert at this, feel free to share your tips below. I just recommend, you know, kind of taking your time with it and being really picky with your drills. I would go through and pick out any drills that didn't look consistent in size or shape, or had any tiny bit of trash or bit sticking off the end, I'd pull those out, and then I would multi-place with the really clean drills that were left, and that I think did help. So enjoyment wise, I rated this one as an 8 out of 10. I thought it was really fun to work on something out of my comfort zone, out of my usual style. And it was, there's something that's so fun and satisfying about finishing a kit in a day. I don't think diamond painting needs to be about how fast you're doing it, but it is nice for diamond painting to be about whatever is enjoyable for you. And this really worked for me. And it was fun to have, like I said, even though it was out of my comfort zone, it was a smaller size. So it was like, even if I was surprised and found myself really disliking working on it, it wasn't like I had a really big canvas that I then had to try to power through. I really like Diamond Artisan's quality. I think this is a fantastic small shop, and if you haven't checked them out before, please do. I'm not affiliated. I really like what they're doing a lot over there. They have some beautiful artists and artwork, and the quality I have really enjoyed. They're also transitioning over to a lot of hand charting on their kits, and I really need to test out one of these hand charted kits, because the one I have completed and reviewed for you guys was from their initial run and is more computer charting, and I think it's just going to be a really huge difference to see that hand charted look. So anyway, please do check out the shop if you haven't before, because their customer service is fantastic. The owner is so sweet, and is really, you can see the attention to detail and the dedication that she has to try to put out a really high quality product, and also try to offer something that's maybe a little more unique and different from what's already available out there. And I'm all about the variety. So as far as any other thoughts that I have on this kit, I'm just quickly looking at my logbook to make sure I'm not missing anything. I did work on this one, actually, I forgot that I'd written. I worked on this one as taking a break from the whip I'm going to show you, which is my really large cross-stitch conversion project. I knew that I wanted to squeeze in one more summer with a master's kit, and that I needed just a little breather from my conversion project, and this was the perfect like 1 day break. So this was my third finish for the month, and I'm so happy with this. Give me all the mini kits, please, because they're just so fun. And the render, like, look how nice that render is at that size point. They did a really lovely job with this one. So I'm going to move this over to the side, and then we're going to get into, remember how I mentioned, as far as my finishes go, I had some asterisks for you guys. So I did finish my Disney 100 Years of Wonder diamond painting sticker album from Craft Buddy UK this month. And the reason that I'm giving this one an asterisk is because back when I was initially working on this one, I had crowdsourced from you guys just opinions on how I should count this one as far as my finishes goes, because these were taking me some time to work on. There's 102 stickers in total, and I just thought I want to count this towards my finishes because of the time and work I'm putting into it, but how should I count it? And what I landed on was counting this, like breaking this basically down into 3 batches. So the whole book was counting as 3 finishes for me. I had completed the first batch a few months ago and counted that as a finish, but this past month I completed, over 60 stickers, and consider that completing batches 2 and 3. So that's finishes 4 and 5 for this month. And I did do a review and a flip through video, and we worked on my last sticker that went into this book together, and I really did go in depth in that review, so I'll point you over to that video if you want to hear me talk about it a lot. But this was fun. This has been a work in progress since fall of 2023, like 10, 11 months or something. And it was exciting to finally get the last stickers that I needed and be able to call this one a finish. I have a playlist where I go through, there's a number of videos where I've gotten a batch of these blind bags in, and we unbox them together and see what different characters I get and what I check off my list, because yes, this was done blind bag style. And I know I might get some questions about, oh, where can I get this? I don't see it. Unfortunately, if you live in the US, Craft Buddy UK doesn't at this time appear to be still shipping these products to the US anymore. And my understanding is that their licensing agreement with Disney for distributing this is ending in December. So I don't know that I would necessarily recommend trying to get and complete this album before then. I think it could be a really frustrating experience because there's so many limited options for what's out there. But I'm hoping maybe they'll do something like that again in the future, because it was really fun combining Disney blind bags, and collectibles, and diamond painting all together was just like, that's the perfect trifecta for me. But yeah, so this I'm counting as 2 more finishes for the month, and yeah, that's just how I'm counting it in my logbooks. That's that kind of big asterisk. As far as my last finish for the month, this one is going to be, this is my dragon kit that I worked on for July. It's technically an untitled piece, or it might have been listed as just dragon on the Etsy listing. It's by the artist Nathaniel Manns and is from the shop True Artist Diamond Painting on Etsy. The shop is still open and has a lot of beautiful kits in stock as of the time of this posting. But it looks like this kit was part of their very initial run when they launched a few years ago. I don't believe they have restocked it since, and I don't know if they're intending to. But I had bought this right when the shop opened to kind of test out a new shop. And I was digging deep into my stash for a kit to work on this month. Again, this was actually, like the last couple of kits, this was one that I worked on as a break from my large cross-stitch conversion project. And it was really nice. So it's 30 by 40 centimeters. It has 30 colors, round drills, no special drills in this one, but I started it on July 23rd and finished it on July 25th. So it was a pretty quick kit. I rated the confetti as 7 out of 10. It is really confetti heavy, and my enjoyment was 7 out of 10. I liked working on it a lot. What was funny though is I am pretty sure that, I think because I kitted up this kit with you guys in a whip and chat a few weeks ago, I think that I said with an unreasonably high level of confidence that this looked like it was a hand-charted kit, and I don't know why I said that. It was not. There was a lot of confetti and some kind of, some of the pixelation is kind of a hallmark of a computer charted kit. That's not a slam. It's just I'm laughing at myself for some reason really thinking this was hand charted. I think it was because the render looked like it had a lot more clean lines. And I think the real culprit, or the real reason rather, I don't want to say culprit, is that there is some color blocking with the dark background. But overall, this was still pretty confetti heavy with its 30 colors, but I thought it turned out really nice. I'm not one to add enhancement drills to my projects, but this would have been a really easy spot to like swap this out maybe for some crystal drills or something like that. Maybe like some metallics in the fringe would have been cool. It's not my forte, but I thought that would have been really fun to do. Overall, I had a nice experience working on this kit. It was pretty good quality. The canvas I did find, like you can kind of see there's just these slight creases here. I'm having a little bit of trouble getting those to completely lay flat. You can still somewhat see them. I'm gonna try setting it under something like really heavy, just see if that can just really solidify it. I think the problem is how I had stored it, where it was technically rolled, but it got a little bit flattened, and so those creases had just kind of been set and sitting for a few years. So that's on me, but I love if I could just get this to lay perfectly flat. No complaints about the glue or the symbols or the drills. This was one that I had a little bit of trouble reading the symbols with a bright overhead light. It was easier to read with natural light that was kind of more indirect actually. So, but the drills were good. I had plenty of extra drills, and I like this shop and its, customer service and getting support. A small shop in the community is something I always look forward to doing. And this was a fun one. I knew at the beginning of the year, I thought this was one that I wanted to try to get to for my Year of the Dragon diamond painting kind of goal, which is to work on one dragon diamond painting each month. And I also had this one in mind specifically for the summer because I had thought, well, it's smaller, and I know that with some of the masters, I'll probably be working on some larger, potentially, and almost definitely really confetti heavy kits. So this, I think, was a really good choice. It worked out pretty quickly in spite of the confetti, and it was fun. It was fun. Again, you could see I'm really on a kick with these smaller size kits. They're bringing me a lot of life at the moment, and I highly recommend giving that a try yourself if you're finding yourself kind of being tired of diamond painting and just not enjoying what you're working on. But yeah, this is great, you guys. I have some other kits in my stash from this company, and I need to go over and check out if they've done any new releases lately. So I'll link to their Etsy shop. While this kit, like I said, I don't believe is available, they do have some other really beautiful and diverse artwork over there too. So this is my 6th and last finish for the month, and ended up being my 26th finish for the year. Now I have 2 whips that I'm going to be sharing with you going into the month of August, and I'm going to go ahead and go grab those. All right, so first up, I wanted to share an update on my temperature project for this year. What a temperature project is, if you're not familiar, is where you basically, in my case, I'm looking at what the high temperature is for where I live each day, and I've assigned each temperature or each kind of temperature range to a specific color. And I'm using a cross-stitch chart. I'm converting it to a diamond painting on a blank canvas, and using that chart, it's saying, okay, maybe this is, this is, I think, like May. It's like May 1st, May 2nd, May 3rd, May 4th, so on and so forth. And then you kind of have this patchwork of colors that represent what the weather was like at whatever point you've decided to look at, which you can look at like, the average, the low, the high, or something else maybe for what the day was. And this is just kind of visual representation of it. I've shown some, I've checked in and, shown you how this is progressing on each of my month in review videos. And so the canvas I got from Amazon, I don't love it, but it was like a time crunch thing, and I didn't have time to wait to order one from a higher quality company, so I don't necessarily recommend it, but it's doing the job. And I'm gonna trim and cut this. I'll figure it out once this is done. The drills are specialty drills that are from DP with Sparklers, and I'm using these kind of chunky glitter drills for these colors, and this is kind of that fine glitter dust in the background color. And then there's like a black one for like the eyes and a gray one for kind of the outlining. And so this is the month of July, and I think this is actually my favorite month so far. I have been very transparently shared how I've been disappointed with just some of the decisions I made and how that's making this turn out. I think that I picked too small of color ranges, temperature ranges, and too many colors. And I think it's just looking way more patchworky than I was hoping. It's a lot less cohesive. I think I want to choose a narrower range of colors next time. I'm going to try to take this as a lot of learnings, but I will say I love how this turned out. This feels a little bit more cohesive as far as the color families that are in it. And July was hot. It was basically almost entirely in the 80s, and there was several days in the 90s and then just a couple of days in the 70s as far as highs go, but it was a hot month. But I do like how that turned out. And yeah, this is my temperature project. We're just going to keep going. It's going to keep going. I think it's like this next one will be, August, September, October. And I think November is going to be like the eye, except over here. And then December is going to be the mouth, I think. So we'll get there. We're over halfway done, but that's my temperature project. And then my other whip, which I am very happy to be able to share this with you guys, is the 5th panel of my cross-stitch conversion project. Now, this is a very, very long-term project. At this point, I started it around 2 years ago, and it's of this really large piece. So it's a cross-stitch chart of the artwork. I'm trying to fix this here. Okay, it's fine. Once Upon a Fairy Tale by Amy Stewart. The chart is from Heaven and Earth Designs. My materials are from Evermoment, the canvases and the drills. And the chart is so large that I decided to break it into 8 panels. And I'll pop up the original artwork here on the screen if you're interested to see that. And this is it's a 3rd shelf down on the left-hand side. Each of these panels ends up being 35 by 95, slightly less than that because that adds in some extra just in case kind of room. So I think it's more like 34 by like 93.5 or something centimeters is the actual, drill field that's going to be placed. And it's just a ton of confetti. I'm a little disappointed. I almost finished it before the end of the month. I started it back on, it was a little over halfway through the month. I've been working on it for around 2 weeks, but I took breaks from it for a few days to work on that dragon kit, for a couple of days to work on my Disney stickers, for a day to work on that Diamond Artisan Shop kit. So, I understand why I'm still working on it, but it's very labor intensive. It just takes a lot of brain power to work on because I'm reading a chart and then converting it to a blank canvas, looking at, okay, this color is where this goes. technically speaking, this column right here, like this line is where I stopped because I'm filming this on August 1st. So July 31st, you know, I ended and had just this done, and this is what I've done today. I don't think I'm going to finish it tonight. I'll probably finish it hopefully tomorrow, depending on just how the day goes. But it's been really fun to be back to this panel. I'm excited that I get to come to you guys in this month in review and be like, and one of my ongoing whips that I haven't touched in a few months, it's back. So yeah, this is panel 5 of 8. I really enjoyed, especially like the first half of this panel, a ton. It was so fun. I don't have the artwork memorized because it is incredibly highly detailed. There's so much going on, and I kind of am deliberately not trying to memorize every detail because then it means it's kind of being revealed to me as I go. I started over on this end, and I've been working on it in sets of columns. And it was fun because I was going, and so first I have this, you know, this character revealed. I keep going, and then I have this wizard revealed. I keep going, and I have this gal. I think it's a gal. I don't know. You can't tell, really tell. And I'm like, all these characters being revealed, and they're clearly squaring off against something, and I couldn't tell yet. I hadn't remembered that there was a dragon over here. What happens is that in the panel above this one is where the dragon's head is, and so this is the dragon's body and its legs and arms, and then that's the fire it's breathing out at the people. But it was fun. I can imagine that you would understand what I mean when I say it was just kind of gradually being revealed to me, and then, oh, they're squaring off against a dragon. I'm sure the dragon didn't do anything wrong. I don't know why they're so mad and attacking it, but it's, you know, whatever. But then I got into this later half, and this has not been as fun to work on. It's castle walls and greenery, and you heard what I said about greenery earlier. It's not my favorite. It's just a ton of confetti. It's taking me longer to get through, but it looks really cool, and it's fun how things get revealed, and I sometimes don't even notice them till I'm looking at them through this camera lens. Like, for example, it wasn't until I was looking through this that I went, oh, that's a bird. That's like a little bird that's sitting on that ivy right there, but okay, didn't know that when I was close up to it. But yeah, I'm definitely ready to be taking a break from this project, I think. So once I finish this panel, I don't think I'm going to go straight into the 6th panel, but I can be really fickle. Who knows? Maybe I will. But yes, so I'm at, according to my Pattern Keeper app, where it tracks lots of stats, I'm over 60% done with the entire chart. And I've placed like 240 something thousand drills, or maybe it's 250, I don't remember. There's 402,000 drills in the whole chart. So I think you can maybe understand why it's been ongoing for 2 years and I'm only halfway through. But I'm happy it's back. I am genuinely enjoying it, and I'm excited that I'm able to share this update with you. Speaking of what I'm going to be doing next, going into the month of August, the month of August is kind of it's a little bit of an in-between month for me. I'm coming out of hosting and trying to do a lot with, and enjoying working on a lot of Summer with a Masters related projects. And then September 1st kicks off Drills and Chills, which is an annual diamond painting event that I've been involved with hosting for several years, that centers around fall and Halloween, and that goes for 2 months. So August is kind of like this nice little just sort of break. I get to work on, you know, various kits that just sort of catch my eye and aren't necessarily themed, but also, you know, have the chance to look ahead and excitedly prep for Drills and Chills. My co-host Lindsay from Emeralds and Fairy Lights and I are having a lot of fun talking about what we want to do this year, how we can make it really fun and special. We're working with a lot of sponsors for some coordinating accessories and what we're going to be doing for giveaways. I think it's going to be a really fantastic year, and we'd love for you to join us. I'll have the event announcement video linked below if you would like to go and take a look and find out more and find out how you can join in if you would like. But yeah, so August is just kind of it's like a buy month for me. So I'm going to just kind of be scrolling my gems flow leisurely and going, what is jumping out at me? What would be just a relaxing and chill kit to work on during the month of August, where I have a little bit of downtime. So I will definitely be working on a dragon kit, of course, so I can kind of keep up with my monthly dragon goal. I have in mind, unless something really changes, that I would like to work on The Universe in a Jar by Randall Spangler from Diamond Art Club. It was my kind of OG rainy day kit back from 2020, and it was my first Randall Spangler kit that I got from Diamond Art Club and has had a special place in my heart for a long time. And the time just feels like very, very right to go ahead and work on it. So I think I'm going to work on that this month. But that I think has square drills, and I'll be coming out of the square drill kit, so I'm probably going to maybe try to find a round drill kit to work on in between. So we'll see. There is an event called ABs in August going on this month that I'll probably just casually participate in. It's being hosted by some friends of mine over on Instagram. It's Jamie from Jamie Paints and I believe Kirby as well. So I'll have their Instagrams linked below with the event info if you want to go and participate in that. They're such sweethearts, and it's a really just casual and fun event to join in on. They've been doing for a few years. So that's kind of what I have in mind. And now I would love to hear from you guys. What did you work on in July? Do you have any projects you're really excited or proud of, or any goals that you met? I would love to hear from you. Please share them in the comments. And what are your plans for August? Do you have any events that you're participating in? There's a lot that are going on. There's a couple of resources, like there's a Facebook group or two where they track events. There's some Instagram accounts that track events. I'll have them linked below if you want to see what other events are out there. That's a good starting point. But yeah, let me know, you guys. Thanks for watching. If you want to see my past month in review videos and see the various diamond painting kits I've worked on, that playlist will be linked below along with all the kits and everything we've talked about today. But let me know, of course, if you have any questions down in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching. Please subscribe if you want to see more diamond painting videos from me. I'd love to have you here. And I hope you have a day and a week that's as amazing as you are. I'll talk to you again soon, my friends. Bye.